Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to another weekly market forecast with Yemi Olaleye. I'm a market analyst at FX Pro, and this is the weekly outlook covering from Monday night to 13th of March 2026. And this is the fundamental outlook. On Monday and Tuesday, which is the 9th and 10th of the week, we have no high impact news. And on Wednesday, we have the US dollar coming up 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, which is the core CPI expectation. We have Thursday coming up with the European pounds and US dollar on Governor Bailey speaking and unemployment claims consecutively. And also we have Friday, which carries most of the high impact news for this week. European pounds, Canadian dollar, and US dollar for 8 a.m. 1:30 p.m. and 3 p.m. Nigerian time. And all of these are high impact news, which covers for GDP, unemployment rate, and prelim GDP quarter by quarter, and GOLTL jobs is also coming up. So this week is going to be a fantastic one. It looks simple, but we have to throw with caution. All right, let's go to the fundamental. Let's go to the technical, and let's see what we have for the opportunities that we have for this week. A lot happened last week. The market moved away, but there's a lot going on with the US and Iran war, missiles here and there, global tension everywhere, and it has an impact on the market. Well, let's see what opportunities we have in the market for this week going forward. Last week we projected a much of strengthened week on the XY, which happened, but overall it ranged from Tuesday to Friday with upper rejection candles, and with that outlook therefore means we most likely will looking for more sell momentum on the XY for the rest for the beginning of this week. How the rest of the week is going to go, we don't know yet, but this looks more like a reality we're facing in the next couple of hours. Right here, we're looking for more sell momentum into the DXY until it gets into that range. If you go to a lower time frame perspective, like a 4-hour time frame, for instance, at least we should be expecting the price to dump into this level. This is what I'm looking at right now. This momentum is massive and it looks significant to me, like the price is going to hit this level before we have more things to say. Peradventure, we have more bullish momentum hitting right here, or we have the price actually coming back into this range before we have more buy going forward for this week. So it depends on how the market reacts with this, but ideally I will be expecting a reaction of this zone. So from here we will determine what we want to see. Either we want to sell more or want to buy more. From here we're going to see that eventually for the week. All right, that is on the XY, and let's see what we have on EURUSD. Euro US dollar for last week, we make so much profit on it because we had a momentum that told us that we should be selling. Eventually, so that aggressively at the beginning of the week until it gets into a price range which already booked for a buy momentum. And on daily time frame, this is exactly how it looks. We have this momentum on Monday where the market opened with a gap, and it also on Tuesday it moved aggressively into the zone that I've booked here before. Now you can check the previous videos and the recordings that I've made about this. I've talked about this a couple of times, and the price actually get into this range before we add a buy. On Tuesday, when the price moved there, eventually it bounced out about 80 pips in the market, and since Wednesday to Friday it was ranging off above that zone, which suggests that we may likely have more buy. This is the projection I've had here over a couple of days or week now, and definitely I'm not touching this because I'm leaving it to work the way I expected. And going to the 4-hour time frame perspective, let's see more contest into this, and let's see how the price is going to react. Okay, for me, I will look at the market from this perspective that this momentum for the bullish ride should continue till the price creates a high above the structure right here. And if that should be the case, I should be only waiting to see reaction of this zone. By the time the price gets here, we'll have more insight on what we want to do with this entire outlook. And are we looking for more sell overall? Yes, that's very, very possible. And at the same time, we might be looking for another opportunity that give a short-term opportunity for a buy or a. So just to just make this clear, in order not to get to conclusion without clarity, I will be rather waiting for this to happen. And by the way, I'm just looking at this zone for a sell opportunity. Let me take this out so I can make a proper one for you. I'm just looking for the price to make a kind of momentum like this. You can see this and just react of the zone. Then this is what I'm expecting to see right here. Excuse me. So basically, this is on Euro US dollar. If you go to the daily time frame perspective, there's not much difference around that. I'll be looking for more bullish momentum over time until the price gets in here before I have more sell momentum. If you go to a lower time frame perspective, we have a terrible zone below that we're not even anticipating before now. I had a level here since last year, which I was waiting for, which is a monthly demand zone for a buy. And currently, the price has been attacking this low frequently. Then that means we should should be expecting more bearish momentum to break that low, as DXY will be getting strengthened over the couple of days coming ahead of us. So this is just to keep it simple and to keep it short. At the same time, this is my projection and my outlook on Euro US dollar going forward for this week. Let's check what we have on the next currency pair, which is the Great Britain pounds US dollar. Starting from the weekly time frame perspective, we had a bearish momentum for last week, and okay, I'm coming. We have a bearish momentum for last week, which eventually turned out to be a doji, almost a doji candle at the end of the day. But then it's more of a range, it's more of a buying market with long lower wick. And of course, yes, this was my projection to see the price getting here before we start selling. So let's get to the lower time frame perspective. Excuse me, and let's see how we get that into the right direction of the market. On the daily time frame, this was the level of the demand zone, which I'm expecting the price to actually get into before we have a bullish momentum. But quite frankly, the price did not get there, and eventually the price sold as we projected, but the price did not sell into this level as we projected it. So it bought off from this zone, and let's be honest, it didn't get into my buy momentum zone. So the rest of those days that became ranging markets was actually a range, but for the sell, we had that momentum which I already projected ahead of time, which did over 200 pips on the 4-hour time frame perspective. This is how it looks like, and for me, this looks dicey according to different multiple time frame analysis. It looks a bit dicey, but then if I will be expecting anything at all, I will still want this Great Britain pounds US dollar to come back into this zone before I can take a buy momentum of this. And apart from that fact, I want to see more momentum on the bullish ride to the price gets here. So I want to see the price get here going forward, and something like this will just be fine. Okay, something just like this will be fine for me. So going forward, I want to see that buy momentum till the price gets into this range. When the price does that, I want to see more sell from that zone. On the daily time frame, this is how it's going to be for those that trade based on swinging momentum. This is what I'm looking at. So I'll be waiting to see the price get into this zone before it sells down into this range. Of course, yes, this range is where my target is for a buy. All right, this range is where my target is for a buy. The price has not gotten into it, and I can wait. Okay, so that is my outlook on Great Britain pounds US dollar for this week, and let's see the opportunity we have in the market going forward on the next currency pair. And one thing happened again last week, which I need to talk about. On DXY, we have higher low creation at the point in time, and Euro US dollar was also creating higher low, and of course, Great Britain pounds US dollar was creating lower low, and this is called divergence around currency pairs. All we do is we waited, and I saw that I will be selling Great Britain pounds US dollar so long I have this going on, and eventually Great Britain pounds US dollar sold even better than the Euro USD. So you should learn about divergence, and in the next coming videos, I might be making a video concerning that. And then let's go to the next currency pair, which is the AUD US dollar, starting with the weekly time frame analysis. Well, this guy has been moving annoyingly over the time, and on the weekly time frame perspective, I was only waiting to see the price actually get into this range. Can you see that? This is around 0.6700. I'm looking at when the price will bounce off into this range before I look for a buy. So what I have there, I'm going to bring it back, but it's unnecessary. Let me just go to the lower time frame and let's see what we have. On daily time frame perspective, the price actually moved significantly for last week, but more of a range, but it moved significantly for a sell at some point, and it delivered over 150 pips or over 160 pips, so to say, and that was right here, and it didn't get into the range I was expecting as well for a buy, but currently it's still ranging. I won't be doing anything with this guy. Like I used to say, most of the times I barely have to do with this, but I want to see the price reacting off this zone here before I take a buy on it. But on the 4-hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have. I've seen the price actually moving back and forth over the time, and I said if it breaks below this low, I want to see it sell down into this range. And if you check this range, the price did not get there eventually, as you can see right here. The price did not get into this range. As you can see, it took off right here. So for me, I'm not taking anything on this. It's more of a range for me, risky. And at the same time, if I will be doing anything, I want the price to actually reset, and I want to see a better structure. Okay, rather, I would rather say we'll be waiting to see if the price can actually still get back into this range. I doubt that, but it's not really what I'm looking into. All right, and then that give me that more sell momentum. Okay, something like this. But then let's see how this goes for the week. I'm not really interested I'm not interested in this one particularly. I would rather be focusing on another currency pairs, which might likely give me an easier and smoother entry. So that being said, that is what I have on the AUD US dollar going forward. Let's see what we have on NZD USD. This projection was also for a sell last week and it delivered that sell. It sold about 108 pips because I remember I talked about it and I gave that signal long time ago. And if you check when the market opened with a gap to where the price was, it was about, oh, eventually it did about 154 pips. That's great. So yes, that's for the sale actually. Okay, for the buy, I think that was where it had over 108 pips thereabouts. Okay, 112 pips. And you see this market moved significantly in our direction without hitting our stop loss. The stop loss level was very nice because we have about 1:4.7, which on average that's 1:4. And it makes so much sense that way. So for me, on this NZD US dollar, let's check what we have on the weekly time frame perspective and let's take our conclusion on this bias. All right, on the weekly time frame last week was a bearish one for it, and it pulled out again for a bullish momentum, which sustained as a bearish candle for the week. On the daily time frame perspective, what we are seeing here is more of a range for the 4 days of the week that ended last week, and definitely we may be seeing more bullish, a little bit of bullish momentum before we have more bearish momentum because we still have a price level where the price can still react to below here. And this is a level like this where we can see the price reacting into. And of course, yes, we have another zone, which is a fair value gap level, which looks good before the price rejected that zone, which is off here because this level, I've seen it being taken. So I'm not using this for anything again. I'd rather be waiting to see how the price will react to the above price level to grab liquidity above here and then shift the structure gradually and move sharply into a range like this over the time. But for me, I think this is what I should be looking at. I shouldn't get hurry into any market right now. A lot is going on in the world, and all I need is clarity. So on daily time frame perspective, that's my outlook. On the 4 hour time frame is just a repetition, which I'm not going to be doing. I'll just give you what I have said already. So this is what I have for me on NZD US dollar. This is what I will be doing for the week. So let's be clear, let's be honest. Nobody knows how the market is going to react and how the market is going to move, but we have one thing for sure, the clarity of what the price is saying. So we follow that, not necessarily because we want to be right. If the market prove you right, you make profit. If the market prove you wrong, you learn lessons and you come back again and fight another day. So that's that on the NZD US dollar. This is my projection for the week, and this is the next target I'm looking into if we are selling off from this level. So that being said, let's go straight to the next guy, which is the USD CAD. On the USD CAD, starting from the weekly time frame perspective, and to start with, this guy gave us some money last week because it moved as we expected. So last week it moved bearish momentum, and of course, let's see how that's really impacted the market. And this has been the 5th or 6th week of range right here, and it's becoming annoying. So on the daily time frame perspective, the last day of the week was a bearish momentum, which flew almost 120 pips, right? And eventually we had the market did that. So what are we looking at for this week? What is the next projection? At the beginning of the week for last week, my projection was to see the price actually buy to that level, which it did, but I want to see a sell from this price level, which it didn't. Okay. But right now, what we are looking at is very simple. I'm seeing a bearish momentum, which has shifted the market structure over the time. Let me take this out for a minute and let me talk about what I have right here. With this momentum, this is massive, and I want to see more bearish momentum before the price pick up for a buy. And that means if you're looking at it from that perspective, it aligns with what I'm expecting on DXY. That means DXY will be selling a little, this will be buying a little before selling, right? So basically on the USD card, I'm waiting for something like this, just a little reaction like this of this zone. This is what I'm looking at right now on the USD card. This week might look a little bit dicey with what I'm looking at right here. Yeah, might look a bit dicey, but then this is what I'm looking like. I want to see the price getting into this range, and from here, I want to see definitely more of a buy going forward. But first thing first, I want to see the price reacting with this zone and then coming into this zone. Then from there, we can move forward to where we're anticipating before now. This, I will take this out for now. And also, this is another level that we have on the weekly or daily time frame perspective, but I'm not ready for that. What I want to see now is where the market is reacting at the moment and how we can benefit from that momentum. So this is the next contest we have in the market. And as you can see, the price is expected to move into this range at about 1.3611. And from there, I want to see more sell into this level, which is also a 4 hour time zone for a buy. So if you're buying from this zone, it means that let me just put something like this there so it can make more sense. I'm watching my time. I'm watching my time. Okay, so we can have something to work with around here. So this will look more like this. If we're looking at that from this perspective, this is what I'll be looking at. Okay. So going forward for the week, yes, this is it. This is a fair value gap zone here. Nothing more, nothing is important. Just clarity. This is more fair value gap zone. All right, and we are not doing anything outside of what we've talked about. So this takes more time. All right, this is it. This is the USD card analysis. This is what I'm looking at. If this move this way, it makes sense for us. And let's go forward to the next thing we'll have for the day. Talking about that on the USD. Okay, USD card, I said something about it. What was that? Okay, nothing. I think I've said it already. USDJPY, this also gave us some good money since the beginning of the bullish range. Even from here to this level, I gave that buy momentum that it's going to hit this level before we sell, and that has done over 400 pips so far. And let's see, what do we have now? I'm still looking at it for a little bit bearish momentum, not exactly to make all of these movements right here. Okay, it depends on how it moves. If it breaks this low, that means that's level which I projected. The price is coming there, but that's too early now. All right, what I will say is the market has shifted structure into this level. I will be waiting to see how the market reacts of this zone, and then with this trend line, if the market breaks below it, I will be waiting for more confirmation for a sell. And it looks more like the price is going to sell down a little bit more. As you can see, the price moved into this range. It sold about 150 something pips. I remember I was outing. Okay, 158 pips, right? And eventually went back to the zone, which I'm not really happy with. But then it's the market anyways. If you cut the first one, there's no reason to be crying over a spilled milk. Yeah. And I believe that if the market actually still moves a little bit more, you still make about 50 pips. If we're going to be buying, when the market is shifting, we're going to see our next level, which we'll be using as a reference point for more buying momentum. So this sell may not actually get here overall. And I've used all of these ones, so I'm not interested in them again. I want to see how the market reacts within this level and how the market pull out from here. So if you go to 1 hour time frame perspective, I think I should just do that since they are looking clumsy on higher time frame now. So if you go to lower time frame perspective, 1 hour time frame, let's see how the market reacts off this zone. A zone like this, let's see how the market reacts here. What am I saying here? It's a fair value gap zone, which have not been mitigated for once, right? So let's see how the market reacts with this zone, even below this price level, below the trend line. And with that, we're going to have more insight on what we should be doing for this week. So what would I say? It's a bit tricky, but then we have to work with something, all right? So if it's closing just above here, that means we will be having more buy going forward for this week, just like this, all right? And if it breaks below it, just like this, I don't give double outlook. I don't do that. If it doesn't sell, to buy. I don't do all of those things. Okay. But if we have something like this for sure, we're going to talk about it. But before then, I believe we're going to see again, we're going to talk about how the price movement is going to favor us. Okay. So for me, yeah, this is what I'll be expecting to see. But most likely this might break. Most likely this might break through. And if it breaks through, it makes more sense. But let me just leave it this way. Let me leave it this way. A little bit of break. When it breaks below here, we'll talk about it. Before then, I know we're going to meet again. Okay. So let's leave it like this. All right. Going forward into the next one, which is the USDCHF. Also, this gave us significant buy momentum last week because we projected a buy on it. And if you look, the price actually buy. It didn't get into our exact range of buy, but after the first three candles thereabout, I remember I gave that instruction that so long we have this moving, let's just keep on buying till the price gets in here. It did over 180 pips eventually, but then it didn't move into the exact price we want to sell from. And after selling, it has really moved significantly, shifted lower structure after lower structure, creating lower lows and lower highs over time. And with this outlook, therefore, it means that the price is actually at a range which also we need to respect. This is also a fair value gap zone. If you put your Fibonacci to from here to here, you realize that this is about a discount level. And on a discount level, what do? You look out for a buy momentum. So significantly, we might be having another bullish momentum of this level right here. Okay. But then it has to be the same thing with what we've talked about on the XY. And that's why I said this week is looking tricky because they are showing different things at the same time, and we have to trade what we understand. So going forward, yes, we might have the price creating just that kind of bullish momentum before it sells down again just a little bit more. Why? The same energy that we want to give in buying here is the same energy that we're looking at to sell off here after the price has created a failure swing and break the previous low structure right there. So going forward for this week, let's just be careful. Let's trade with proper risk management. I think that's the only thing I can say right now. All right, going forward, let's move into the next one. I'm going to take this out, or I should leave it. Maybe I should leave it. I should leave this level for the future in case. Let's just leave it. If the price actually move into this level like this, okay, so we can be working with this zone later. Maybe, maybe not. Let's just leave this. I want to leave that like that. Okay, that's that. This is Great Britain Pounds JPY. If you were in our seminar, which we had a live trading on spot in Port Harcourt last weekend, you must have seen this. You must have seen this because I gave this out for a buy momentum, even on 1 hour time frame, and I gave two options where you can buy from. At the point of instance where we were around 2 p.m. Nigerian time, the price was around here, which I gave that energy that guys, we will be buying from here. If you're looking at this, we should be buying from here. Eventually, for the rest of that day, the price actually bought. It bought over 130 pips. Another level I gave for a buy for the conservative traders that would not be buying off this level immediately. That if they want to wait, they can wait for this zone, which will also give a reasonable buy. The price did not get there. So that means the instant and the spot trade that we had was the one that really makes sense. And I said it, of course, that this is a low probability for me. But buying on spot for a buy, taking a buy on the spot, what I call the trade, was the most important one for me, and it looks more visible. And that's exactly what happened. The market moved over 131 pips. If you're in our seminar in Port Harcourt for this last weekend, I congratulate you for taking this trade. The same thing with the Euro US dollar, which I gave during the news about 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time or 2 p.m. Nigerian time thereabout. So that's that on Group Pass JPY. For this week going forward, what should I be expecting? Nothing more. I've said it before now. I'm looking for more buy till the price gets in here. It's very simple. Looking for more buy, breaking above here now. What should I be expecting at the earliest moment of this week? I'm going to take this out, and also I might be taking this one out. No, no, no. Let me leave this. Let me leave this for those that attended the seminar. They can easily relate with that. Okay, so going forward, we might actually see price eating back into this range like this, like this. All right. I see the price eating back into that range like this and like this. So for this one, I will leave it this way because I use it for the seminars, which I'm going to use again during the week, and then I'm going to remove it later. All right. But for this week, okay, let me just be clear. This is what I'm expecting for this week. All right. This is the weekly outlook on Great Britain Pounds JPY. A little sell into this range, then buy afterwards. Is that clear? And that is that on that. And let's move to the next one, which we have here. Great Britain Pounds AUD not interested. Great Britain Pounds Canadian dollar also not interested. And gold, yes, gold. We talked about it. I gave this call for a buy since the price was here. I gave it for a buy that the price would get here before it starts selling. And it did. It got there before it starts selling, and it sold well. And over the time, it has done more than that. The price is ranging and giving a bullish momentum right now. So what should we be expecting on gold? Nothing more than I'm expecting a little bit of buy momentum into a price level like this. I want this level to be taken out. Once this high is taken out, then it makes more sense for me to be looking for a buy on gold, to be looking for a sell on gold after this level is taken out. I mean, if the price actually react like this, I'm coming. If the price actually react like this, take out this high, and moving into this level, then that makes more sense for me. All right, going forward, I can be waiting to see the price going here. On the higher time frame perspective on gold is a buy, is a strong bullish momentum, but with everything going on, when war is going on, everybody wants to buy gold. Well, the paradigm might be shifting. We have more of ranging momentum for 3 days of last week, and after that was after a massive bearish momentum of a Tuesday candle. And with that being said, it means we can just be waiting to see the price eating more of that zone, going back into the structure of this candle before we have more sell energy. So just to keep this simple, on 4 hour time frame perspective, this is what it looks like for me going forward. And right here, I'll be looking for how to exit that trade. On the 1 hour time frame perspective, maybe we can have something more similar or something more insightful. On this, yes, 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 absolutely. This is what I'll be looking at on the 1 hour time frame perspective. This look more visible for me on 1 hour time frame perspective, though. This looks more visible for me on 1 hour time frame perspective to start selling from here. All right. So what I'll do is I'll just leave this as a level where I'm looking for a reaction, but definitely I'm looking for a sell reaction from this zone. So this is what I'll be checking out for. I'm looking for this. All right. Going forward for the week, this is my outlook on gold. This is what I've projected so far so well. And let's see what we have on the next guy, which is the BTC US dollar. Last week we projected for a buy. It was off the zone. It was not off the zone. It was within the zone, right? And let's see how it's really moved. On daily time frame perspective, last week we still sustained that momentum, excuse me, that momentum for a bullish ride. This was on the Wednesday, which actually moved significantly. And I said if it close above here and create higher highs and higher lows, then that means we're ready to buy. But eventually, what happened after creating the break of above this line, which was the previous line, which was the previous high of Sunday, February 8th. I was expecting the price will break above it and create higher highs and higher lows, at least one sequence, but it didn't happen. After breaking above it, just like this, as you can see, the next day it went out on a bearish date, and you can see it has been selling since then, so there's no confirmation for a buy here, but I'm still waiting on that. Now the market will be shifting. I'll be waiting for this level as our new high project, whereby I'll be looking for this projection to move this way. I want to see everything I've talked about here. I want to see it here now. So if the price actually breaks above here, this is our level for a stop loss. We are going to keep that as well. We are still very much on point. Look at this. All right. We're still very much on point. So for me, it is if you have not hit your stop loss, which I believe you have not, if you have not since the last time we called it, I want to see more bullish momentum on this. What I've said, everything about this last week remains the same. I want to see more buy breaking above the structure, I low, and then I want to see more structure going forward. Like that. On 4 hour time frame perspective, therefore, what do we have? We have a little bit of structure here that we can also consider. I'm going to take out this for a minute, and also, should I not take it out? I'm coming. I want to try and do something. Okay. This may take time. I don't want that time. I'm coming. I want to reduce this entire thing. Just wait a minute. Okay, we have something like this. Okay, good. So on 4 hour time frame perspective, this is what I'm looking at. I'm seeing a bearish momentum, right? And at the same time, it's looking like we have already had a structure above which the price can actually still react with. So which means if we are buying, we may not see an extensive buy to break out this high immediately. So that means our projection therefore could move just like this, where we have a beautiful buy into this range, and this range will give us some level of sell. Depends on how this level move before we have that sell. It will determine where we're going to be sitting on before we have a new level for a buy. I don't know if you understand that, but if you don't, just screenshot this and follow me. We'll do more teaching on that, and let's see how the market reacts with these levels. So for me, this is still very much in a good shape. Let's wait and see if the markets will be creating that energy. I just removed the level now to make it a little bit clearer. I'm looking for more buy into this level. Then we have a little bit of sell, but this level depends on how this guy moved up. All right, that will determine where this basin would be. It could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, and as a matter of fact, it could be in the middle. So it could be anywhere. So what I would say is, we just rather wait to see how the market reacts with that zone. And that thing I deleted, that zone I deleted was from the weekly time frame perspective, okay, which is a demand zone. And let me just do it again so we are clear. This is what I deleted, okay? This is what I deleted. So far so well. Well, this is how it's going on BTC US dollar 4 hour time frame perspective. Nothing really much there. I'll talk briefly about one more thing. This is about 28 minutes. I started. I should be wrapping up any moment from now. I think I have one more minute to go. Okay. And the last thing I'll talk about, maybe not the last, but let me try. Let's see what I can do with that information. I'll be checking out S&P 500. S&P 500, I started talking about it recently, about 2-3 weeks ago, about, yeah, 2-3 weeks ago. I think two weeks ago. Yeah. Let's just check it. Okay. I think 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So this was the first one I did, which I made a projection that the price will be buying into this level before we sell. Eventually, the price did that before it started selling. For last week, I gave a projection that we should be buy. This is where the price was for last week, right? And I gave a projection that when the price gets in here, we should be selling. Eventually, the price sold at the beginning of the week, but price went back in there for a buy. As it went in for a buy, it started selling off that zone, and this is my projection level. As you can see, my arrow price actually moved here just exact level, break below it, move above it, and it made it this made sense. It makes it looks real because we are not to know exact price level, but we have an idea of where we should be expecting price to move into. So price get into this level, and then yes, it delivered what I was expecting. So I'm going to take this off. And for this week going forward, this was for last week. This was for the first week, makes sense. This was for last week, it made sense. And for this week, what am I projecting? What are we looking at? So let's take a good look at the daily time frame perspective. Let's see the structure. This is S&P 500. We have a lot of going on right there. And this is more of a very, very strong bullish momentum now having a range. And of course, it's shifting in lower highs and lower lows, meaning we're looking for more sell right there. And with this outlook, therefore, it looks like we're looking for more sell. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, therefore, if we look at this very carefully, within this context, it means we have a very solid bearish momentum that broke the previous structure like there. And then we have this level referred to as our fair value gap zone. And with that, therefore, I mean, we should be looking for something like this. I just want to clock this in, okay? I thought about a lot of instruments. I'm going to reduce them very soon, okay? I just want to spend 15, 20 minutes here. Okay, good. This is it. I'm looking for more buy here. When the buy gets into this range, I want to see more sell. And then let's see how this goes for this week. This is the next low I'll be targeting. Is this not too much? I don't know. I can't say, but that is all I know about what I'm seeing. All right. And that is on S&P 500. The next one I'll talk about would be, come in, please. The next one I'm talking about will be the WTI, which is the crude oil. And let's see my forecast. Even my analysis was before the war, before the rumor of war, and before the missile bombing and all. So let's check it out. Let's see my analysis on crude oil. Somebody requested that I check this out, and I did. So I'll go to the weekly time frame perspective, and that was about 2 weeks ago. And you can see, look at my projection at this price level, that we'll be expecting more buy momentum above here. With this trend line momentum, which I drew out for that fellow or for everyone, because I did this last week as well. I said this is looking great because I'm seeing a bullish momentum. I said this old level is clean off, and I want to see the price getting into this range. And that is what I said, okay? And currently the price has gotten there. Last week was massive. The price surged from $70 to $89 per barrel on crude oil. And that means we've seen an extensive buy momentum on crude oil. So going forward for this week, what are we looking at on the crude oil projection and forecast? Well, I'll be telling you not to buy, and at the same time, I'll be telling you to be caution if you want to really buy on this, because we might be looking for a sell. As a matter of fact, I'll be looking for a sell right here because I have a projection. If my buy get to 95 and above, where we can see something like this, creating something like this on daily. But trust me, as has gone massively to the upside, I want to see it moving massively to the downside too. But that's will really depend on so many other factors based on fundamentals. So to say, this is my outlook on daily time frame perspective on WTI, and this is the outlook I have for this week across all this. Share this, like, comment, and share with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, and I believe this week will be a fantastic week for you too. The next time we talk, see you again, and have a profitable week ahead of you. Bye for now.